Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be taking a look into my official spring 2020 forecast here. We'll be going over my forecast and a few other things. I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter than the last one. At least I'm going to try. Uh, on the last one, we've looked at my forecast, of course, and we also reviewed other people's forecasts like the Farmer's Almanac, the Old Farmer's Almanac, AQ's weather forecast as well. And the Weather Channel, I believe they updated theirs, but I didn't really find it. But we do have a couple of new things to look into, and that's the Arctic oscillation and the sea surface temperatures across the southeast here. Those are going to be the two major factors into the spring here that can potentially cause quite a few issues. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get started with my forecast first. This is the official temperature forecast. Now, the only major change that I made here is the slightly below average temperature area. You can see here, it has expanded to most of the Midwest, the Great Lakes region, and the Northern Plains. The Northwest, equal chances. Along the East Coast, it's either up, well, the Northeast, East Coast, something like that. Going to see some slight above average temperatures across the south. We'll see above average temperatures in around California. For the most part, we'll be seeing slightly above average temperatures. If you do not see any color code, that's equal chances. That's if you could probably see, you can either see slightly above average temperatures or slightly below average temperatures, or it just be mainly average there. Average will be the best term for it, but equal chances there, is what I typically use because, there's nothing right or wrong about those areas there. So, yeah, and, you know, I think this winter here will, not winter, spring will be in an easy forecast here to do, at least for the temperatures. This is going to be a concerning factor for the severe weather, which I did make a forecast on that, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. Um, Here's your precipitation forecast. Mainly in the northwest and across the northern plains, it's going to be saying equal chances. Portions of the desert southwest will be saying below average precipitation around California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado. Can see some slight below average precipitation, even includes southwestern Kansas, the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. And the models have really been indicating some dry, potentially some dry air mass across Arizona and New Mexico, and it seems like it's trying to expand a little bit into Oklahoma and Texas, which that really can decrease the severe weather threat for some of you guys there. So if you live there, if you want severe weather, unfortunately, I don't think you won't see that much severe weather because of this dry air, which I did make a map for it. Um, Moving on to the east here, slightly above average pretty much includes pretty much the entire eastern United States. However, there is a second shade that's above average precipitation that goes along for the Tennessee Valley and the lower Ohio Valley, or you could say northern Alabama, northern Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, most of Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Ohio, and western West Virginia. That's where we can see a lot of moisture getting pumped up. That southeast ridging will help bring in some moisture here. The panhandle of Florida, well, not the panhandle, but central Florida can see equal chances. The same thing for like northern Maine and New York State as well. Let's move on to the severe weather here. And as you can see here, like I said before, slightly below average severe weather across most of New Mexico, southern Colorado, and western Texas here. Due to the dry air mass that could be there, a lot of dry air. In dry air, you can't get thunderstorms to develop. So, severe weather-wise, I don't think you won't see much severe weather in those areas. In this light shade of red, that's slightly above average. That kind of extends from southeastern Wyoming through northeastern Colorado, most of Kansas, a good chunk of Oklahoma and into Missouri, southern Illinois, central Illinois, central Indiana, most of Ohio, West Virginia, kind of for the Dixie Valley, and there's a second shade of red, and that's above average here. And that's where we could see most of the severe weather potentially. And if I zoom in a little bit closer here, it goes in for most of Kentucky, central western Tennessee, uh, most of northern Arkansas, southwestern Missouri, southern Illinois, and southern Indiana, and southern Ohio. This is where we're going to see some of the troughing here. There's going to be some snow packing up here during the springtime here, so you're going to see some slightly below average temperatures. Now, at the same time, you got some warmer than average temperatures across the southeast here because of some ridging that could try to develop there. And what that does, when you kind of have those two air masses together, you get some more precipitation and you can get some more severe weather. In the southeast ridge, you know, if we have high pressure here, it's going to bring in some moisture. So there can be some stormy weather going on down there. And this is where you're going to see the overall forecast here. And this is going to go into a little bit more detail. We'll start from west to east. And the one noticeable change here, and that's the central and west coast of Washington State and Oregon. It's going to be a wet start, but there's going to be a dry end. And you guys are going to need that dry weather up there because you guys have been getting too much rain and tons of mountain snow up there as well. That pink area, that's perfect weather. Um, very nice temperatures, perhaps 50s and 60s. Average precipitation, I mean, you're going to see some very nice weather up there. That goes across most of Idaho, central and western Montana, northwestern Wyoming, in eastern Washington and Oregon. If you kind of move on a little bit to the south, near the desert southwest, you can see the orange area there. That's warm and dry conditions there. Now, there could be a couple systems that may try to come by to the north there, um, but most of the dry air should stay in California and Nevada. But kind of around Utah, Colorado, there might be couple systems that may try to go through there. Well, pretty much for everybody, but the Climate Prediction Center in the 8 to 14 day outlook does show some well above average precipitation, which some of you guys need, but after that, there's not going to be much else going on, unfortunately. But keep in mind, this is a 3-month average, so only one storm system, you're still going to be dry and warm. This kind of brown shade area here, a little greenish there. I try to make it brown, but it's very dry and warm. That includes all of Arizona, New Mexico, and western Texas. And I've said it multiple times before, there's going to be a dry air mass there. What the model's been showing for quite some time, and there's been a consistency for the past good runs as well, a good amount of runs. And let's move a little bit further to the north here. This light blue area here, chilly start, and there's going to be some snow potential a little bit early. This is where we can see a few systems that might try to bring enough cold air for some snow. There is some snow potentially, but the reason why it's going to be chilly up there is because the AO, which is going to be turning negative, you also got quite a bit of snowpack up there as well. So there's going to be some snow still left on the ground in the early spring time frame. So that's why it's going to be a chilly start, and there's going to be some snow chances there. It's very possible, but I'll say the chances are going to be a little bit slim for that one. But the potential is there for some snow. If we go on this green here, that kind of extends through portions of the Central Plains, through into the Ohio Valley, and for a good chunk of the Northeast there. That's where you can see a few systems that would come by to bring in some basically wet weather, just a little bit of rain here and there. It could be heavy at times there, even Even when it gets to the northeast there, it'd be wet. If you go to the far northeast there, there's going to be some snow. It's only going to be early, and the models are already indicating a potentially bomb cyclone that'll go up there, and that could bring in a decent amount of snow for some of you guys around Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire there at the time of making this video, and that's going to be happening very early March. And there's probably not going to be much any systems after that, but this is just a prediction. But as we kind of move on into, let's move back to the west here. This yellow area here, that's going to be some warmer temperatures here. It's a very small area, kind of extends from southern Wyoming through portions of Colorado, western Kansas, into a good chunk of Oklahoma, into central and south central Texas there. Overall, it's just going to be warm. And that's pretty much it. Average precipitation there. You're going to have some ridging across the south that could bring in some warmer than average temperatures. That dark green area, that's going to be stormy conditions here. And that's where we're going to see a lot of moisture will come in here. It's going to be kind of like summer-like weather down there. It could be humid at times, you know. And that southeast ridging can supply some moisture, at least on the eastern side, where the winds will come from the south, and that will bring in some moisture for some of you guys there. And whenever a front comes through our system, yes, it'll be stormy down there with a trailing cold front. Florida, it's going to be warm. It's going to be more summer-like. And this right here is severe weather, where you have two air masses coming together that can create some severe weather and some problems. You also got the moisture in place there, especially across around Tennessee and Kentucky, where we have above average precipitation. And that's going to trigger some above average severe weather across some of those areas there. And that's pretty much it from my forecast here. And if you don't want to see the reasoning and all that stuff there, we're going to take a look into some data and in a model. You can go ahead and click off the video. But let's go ahead and get into the some of the reasoning here. Let's first start with the Arctic Oscillation here, also known as the AO for short. What has been throughout this entire winter has been positive here. And what a positive AO does here, it gives you a wavy jet stream here, kind of a little bit of zonal flow here. Most of your snow's been staying across the north and northeast here, at least for the interior northeast here. And this is the reason why this winter here was a buzz for so many people. It's because of this AO here. It's been very positive for most of the winter here, and for some of the guys, like around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I've heard, for some of you guys, you got like no snow so far this winter, and it's going to be breaking records across the Northeast there that hasn't seen no snow. And it's pretty ridiculous here, but uh, looking at some data back then, I've seen YouTubers' videos were talking about this AO here, and when you have a strong positive AO, eventually it's going to turn negative. And what a negative AO does, it brings in a strong troughing across the eastern United States here. But we have some southeast ridging here, some high pressure here. These two guys, the AO, the troughing, and the southeast ridge is going to be fighting each other here, and that's what is really going to cause some of the severe weather across the Tennessee Valley, the lower Ohio Valley, and kind of back towards the plains a little bit here. And then some of these troughs here is going to be coming in pretty strong. That's why it's going to be a chilly start. But you know, with this AO here potentially turning positive, negative, it may stay that way. And it also causes some ridging across the west here. So it's going to be warm and dry here towards the end of the spring here. That's why I have kind of in the northwest there, it's going to be a wet start, then it's going to be turning drier towards the end. So And you guys need it up there for sure. And and here's what it's been for the entire winter here. So your winter is basically kind of starts right here. Now it's gone negative a couple of times here. That's kind of in between December into January here. And I don't remember getting snow across Kentucky around that time. Um, you can see here it's been around neutral kind of towards the end of January, but look at this. So this is 6 here. I don't know what it's in Celsius or anything. It doesn't really tell me, but it's at 1,000 millibars. I don't know what that stands for OBS, but it's been way up there. It's been very, very positive here. It's even reached to the max at 6, near record levels, and it's still positive here, but you're starting to see the trend is actually going down here again. When it reaches negative here, we're going to start to see troughing coming in from the north into the east. And again, with that southeast ridging, which I'll show you guys for some of the of what we got going on right now for sea surface temperatures. Whoops, wrong thing. It's been warm down here for sea surface temperatures there. Those reds mean above average, and this is in Celsius here. And I believe at one point here, the sea surface temperature, some of these areas here were at 80 degrees, which is pretty ridiculous. Now, from some of the past few systems here, it's been cooling down here. You can really tell kind of along the East Coast there's some dark blues, and even for some of the Gulf Coast states. But as we kind of get into March here, where we start to see warmer temperatures, these sea surface temperatures are going to start warming up quickly, and when it does, so it's going to create some ridging here. So, and right now, most of the severe weather can happen later in March, a little bit more into April here. And what the model's been showing is some high pressure here across both of the central and eastern United States here, and that's really going to help warm up the sea surface temperatures across the south here. It's going to be above average, and that can bring temperatures in the 70s down there and potentially near 80 degrees. So it's really going to help those sea surface temperatures warm up and create some bridging. And when that AO starts to turn negative here, your AO is up here, by the way, and you get ridging across the southeast here, and you're going to try to get some troughing here, and this is how the jet stream is probably going to look like here. And when they hit each other right here, there's going to be some issues here for some severe weather. Whoops. And the last thing we're going to look into is the Jamstack model for the sea surface temperatures. This is all models put in together. This is something new this year. We have 4 different models, but this is all averaging together. As you can see here, it's showing some above average sea surface temperatures here, and what that's going to do is create some ridging here across the southeast here. It's also warmer up here, so it gives me indication that some of this cold air is actually going to escape to the south here. And if we kind of move on to the precipitation, my mouth was starting to hurt after talking for a while. And as you can see here, while I was talking about that dry pocket there, even the west coast here getting pretty dry here. I even talk about this dry pocket here. I think that's a little too far to the east there, but really has some ridging here. It's even dry down there as well, so that's really going to help some ridging down there as well. That actually starts to show you where a lot of ridging is going to happen here. You do have some above average precipitation across the north and around the Ohio Valley region. And if we kind of look into temperatures here, this is really going to show you something. It's not all that impressive here. Oh, wait a minute, we're back to, we want to go to average here, averaging all things out. that AO really starts to take over by the looks of all these models here put together. We actually do have some slight below average temperatures. You actually have some bridging across the southwest, and there's actually some bridging across the southeast here. And what's going to happen here when they kind of hit each other, you're going to have some severe weather issues across for some of these areas in here. So this is going to be a very interesting spring here to watch here. Like I said, later on this March here at the time of making this video, and the models have been showing some high pressure that could develop here across the central and eastern United States here. And at some point, there's going to be troughing coming in. That's probably when that AO probably will try to switch here, and it's going to be pretty mild too. We're talking about temperatures that might be in the 60s, pretty widespread. And then when the troughing comes in, there's going to be some severe weather issues, and that could be an outbreak uh, that may occur later in the month of March. And for the overall, most of the severe weather looks to happen a little bit more mid to late March into April. And April is typically the most active month for severe weather. And we're not 100% sure for May just yet. That's a little bit too far out. But anyways, guys, this is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoy my final spring 2020 forecast. If y'all did like this forecast, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. If you crap, I messed up the outro a little bit there. But if you got any questions, you can put a comment section down below. I will answer you guys' questions. I do apologize if I um slurring my words. I'm actually tired. My mouth is starting to hurt from talking, so I do apologize for that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.